Hello, lovely friend. I am Dr. Mary Barson.
And I'm Dr. Lucy Burns.
We are doctors
and weight management and metabolic health experts.
And this is the Real Health and Weight Loss Podcast.
Good morning, lovely friend. I am not joined by Dr. Mary today. I have with me a really inspiring woman that I think many of you will relate to, and I'm very excited for her to share her story with you. I know we get lots of feedback from podcast episodes where there's a real person that we're talking with, so I'm excited for this real person to tell her story and share some of her learnings and inspiration with you. So Maria, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello. So I thought we'd just start by, setting the scene for the people who are listening along, and maybe, start with talking about maybe how old you are and who referred you even to real life medicine.
Okay, so I'm 70. I turned 70 last year, and I gained a lot of weight over the last 5 or so years through quitting smoking and lockdown and all those kind of things. And anyway, I couldn't lose the weight. And then I had some health issues, heart issues. I was talking to my cardiologist, and he referred me to Lucy and said, look, we shared a practice together and I believe she gets really good results. So I didn't contact straight away. I put the card away. A few years went by and I couldn't lose the weight. I tried everything. I know how to lose weight, but nothing worked. And I just sort of gave up thinking, well, I'm middle-aged. This is what happens when you get middle-aged. Then I got really desperate because I felt terrible. I couldn't exercise. I was tired. I was achy. And I thought, wow, this can't be old age. I've got to lose some weight. So then I got the card out and I rang, and here we are. We started the journey, I think 6 months ago. And, that's how it started.
And it's so interesting, isn't it? It is normal for people to think that I don't need any help to lose weight. Like, I've done it before. I know what to do. I just need to do it. And it's a very common story that we hear where people are doing that. And what they're doing just sort of stops working. That sounds like that's what happened for you.
It just didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And the other interesting thing that you mentioned was that it was also about how you were feeling at that time. It wasn't just that your, clothes were tight, which is, when we're 20, that's what we start getting worried about, that our clothes don't fit. But as we get a bit older as a woman, we start to notice more about how we feel.
Oh, yeah. And I think it was probably more noticeable for me because I've sort of been able to manage my weight over most of my life. So this was a whole new thing, not being able to walk properly, having aches. I'd try and exercise and have to go and lay on the couch. I'd be so exhausted from it.
Yeah, wow. So, to cut a long story short, obviously we connected, and I know you were doing our programs. You also have seen me in the clinic, and I know we've discussed before we came on air about some of your blood tests. And so we did sort of discover that you were insulin resistant and also leptin resistant. So for those at home listening, leptin is one of our other hormones. We've got metabolic hormones, insulin, leptin, we've got ghrelin, a few others in there. But we talk a lot about insulin and leptin and ghrelin. Insulin is the hormone that locks away our fat stores, and ghrelin is the hormone that makes us hungry, and leptin is supposed to make us full, supposed to tell our brain, you've had enough to eat, you're full now, you can stop eating. But what happens with leptin resistance is the brain stops hearing that signal, and so you don't get any cues that you're full, and so we can eat big portions. And I think you'll probably relate to this, Maria, but back in the old dieting days, I used to, the phrases that used to be bandied around a lot were that you'd stretched your stomach or you'd shrunk your stomach. Well, we now know that that's not really, the only way to shrink your stomach is to have gastric surgery, and that really we're probably more talking about hormones, because we know that hormones control hunger. So for you, did you find that it was easy just to keep eating? Like, did you have the off signal?
Before the program?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I could eat huge amounts of constant all day long, snacking. You'd eat dinner, have a dessert, and then be looking for something more, with your cup of tea. It was nonstop, yeah. And I think I remember mentioning that to you once. I said, the weird thing is, I said, I get full really quickly. I'm eating my dinner or my meal, and I just can't eat it all. I get full. You said that's all part of it.
Yeah, totally, totally. And so the interesting thing for you, we did one at your leptin, which was, I think, something like 83. Normal leptin is about 11. And so it was very clear to me that, that you're leptin resistant. So you have a physiological reason for not having the off switch, which I think is really important for people to know, because I think sometimes people just think they're being greedy, or they've just, the word portion control gets bandied around a bit, like you're out of control, like you can't control your portions. And to some extent you can't, but it's not a moral or a willpower or a disciplinary reason. It's hormonal.
Yeah, exactly. It's really great to find that out, It's such a relief to know that it's not just about controlling what you eat, like as in portions and all that sort of thing, dieting. I actually told people I was doing a metabolic reset, and everybody, that if I said I was doing a low-carb diet, everyone would go, how could you do that? If I say a metabolic reset, everyone will, wow, what are you doing and what does that involve? And then I can explain the hormones.
Yeah, and I think that is great. I know that low carb and keto diets were very popular, in 2019, early 2020. And we're certainly not against a ketogenic diet if people want to do that, but you don't have to do keto, as they say, to be able to improve your metabolic health and to lose weight. You do probably need to lower your carbohydrates, particularly for people that are insulin resistant and leptin resistant. It's a really useful way to do it. But I think people think low carb means no carbs or keto, and it doesn't have to be. So with your low carb lifestyle, what does that look like for you? Like what's the sort of a day on a plate for Maria?
Oh, now. So because I intermittent fast, so I don't have breakfast, which is fine because I've never really I was just a toast and jam kind of person. So that wasn't a good breakfast anyway. So I just have any kind of salad or vegetable that I've got left over, any protein, tuna, eggs, you name it, I can have it. I've become a little bit more organised and I'll boil eggs up at the start of the week, and I always have tuna and we have lots of leftover. And I just found that you do have to be a little bit prepared. Like I find if I've got things in the fridge, salads and all that sort of thing there, it's much easier. You can grab it, go, because it is a little bit harder to eat out. So yeah, a little bit prepared. And I'm a bit of a foodie, so I've really enjoyed finding recipes that are just as delicious. They don't need pastas and all that sort of thing, because most of those things that make it delicious are the sauces and all that. So I've been able to develop. I started with your guide. I mean, I used the guides, the red, the blue and all that, and the recipes. So it gets you started, and then you can just, once you get the hang of it, you can adjust your own food and find recipes and eliminate things or put other little, things in. Yeah, so it's pretty easy. And my partner eats the same food. He doesn't even hardly know. He didn't even realise we had mashed cauliflower once. He said, this texture's a bit funny, instead of potato.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love pureed cauliflower. I don't miss potato.
It's totally delicious. And I think you're absolutely right. It's thinking about, it's not about what you're missing out on, because you can swap just about anything. But I love the way you said you kind of need to be, you do need to be a little bit prepared. But to be honest, I am not a person who's organised. I don't meal plan. I can't think that far ahead. It's like, oh my God.
But I mean, just having, a bag of salad or one of those coleslaw bags or those, that's what I mean being organised, that you've got that kind of stuff just really handy.
So I reckon it's about not so much meal prep, but ingredient prep. So if you've got the salad leaves, your salad in your bag there, you've got your, I have a meat subscription, but yeah, you've got tins of tuna, maybe boil your eggs up at the start of the week. there's a few things that you can do to sort of set yourself up without having to actually think, right, well, what am I having for breakfast, lunch and dinner over the next 7 days? Because that's hard, I reckon.
Yeah. And look, to be honest with you, I actually feel I don't miss carbs. I thought it was going to be hard to start. I thought, how am I going to do it? And I just said, you know what? I was so desperate. I said, it's 12 weeks. I can do this for 12 weeks if I set my mind to it. It's not forever. Well, I don't even want it anymore. I don't miss the bread. I don't even want it. And I feel really good. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel full. I don't have indigestion. So I don't even want that food anymore. I'm not interested in it. Sugar is a little bit of a fight, but carbs, like the rest, breads and all that, I'm not, they don't even taste the same, really.
No, it's really interesting. I think that you hit the nail on the head. I mean, you did the 12-week. We've got our metabolic action plan coming up, which is 6 weeks. And so we just say to people, don't think about for the rest of your life. Like, you don't have to plan that far ahead. I mean, we don't think about lots of things for the rest of our life, but all of a sudden our brain goes, oh my God, I can never eat this again. It's going to be for the rest of my life. What am I going to do? And it's like, just think about the, immediate future, and then you can reevaluate later on. If you get, if you'd got to the end of 12 weeks and thought, actually, this was rubbish, I don't want to do this. Well, at least you gave it a red hot go.
I couldn't imagine anybody not feeling better by doing it, to be honest with you. Sugar is a bit different, like an odd biscuit or something. That's a little bit of a different thing to the rest, carbs. But, I can't see how anyone would not, once you try, I actually refer to it as being like quitting smoking. When I stopped smoking, to me that was so hard. I really thought, how for the rest of my life I'm never going to be able to have a cigarette. And now I wouldn't have a cigarette if you gave me $1 million. I can't even believe that I did it. Yet at the time, it was just, this is a little bit different because okay, in 12 weeks' time, if I wanted to, I could have something. But by the time the 12 weeks is up, and I was pretty strict, I didn't want it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really a gentle way to approach it. So rather than going, oh, well, I'm quitting carbs, I'm never having them again, it's like you just do this sort of experiment and go, well, I'll see how I go.
The 12 weeks, I looked at it more as look, I have to improve my health. I have to lose weight, and it's going to take some discipline of some sort. If I can eat cream, have cream and butter and mayonnaise, to me, that's an amazing way of eating.
Yes, exactly. I remember thinking that exact thing. I remember thinking, why would I want chips when I can have halloumi?
Yes.
Yeah, why would I want this, insert thing when I can have some steak with a bit of butter on it? Because when I have steak with a bit of butter on it, I feel like I'm eating in a restaurant.
Yeah, it's like you're cheating.
Yeah, it's fancy food.
It's fancy food, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And I know, and again, the 12-week program as my metabolic action plan is, it's more than the food. We talk a lot about, stress and sleep, and particularly managing emotions around food. How did you go with that bit of it?
Well, that was really important. That was probably one of the most important things, and I still use that today, like the slab analogy, like if I had that day and I think, oh, do I want a biscuit? Oh, hang on, why am I wanting that?
Yes. So for our listeners, the slab is an acronym for working out what emotion you might be feeling, or the common emotions to eat, and they are stressed, lonely, angry, or bored. So I love that. So you've explained, you kind of do a little pause and ask yourself, which slab is it?
It's true. It really is.
Yes.
I still use that today, actually. So,
yay. Yeah, I know. Because the thing is that it's not like it's all done and dusted and it's, oh, good, 12 weeks done, dusted, I'm cured. It's this ongoing, we need to always ongo, everything in life is ongoing, isn't it? It's like gardening.
Well, I think it's just, this has been like peeling back an onion for me. So that the weight and everything is one aspect of it. But, then I've got a little bit of some mental health that's come up, ADHD, which we did the test and I said, wow, that explains a lot about my personality. We fancy finding that out at 70 years of age. And thinking, well, I've lived this long with it, I can manage. But I am going to explore it further, because now that I've eliminated all these crutches for my life, smoking and the food and a bit of alcohol here and there, shopping, there is an underlying issue. So I'm going to keep going with that. So even at my age, I think, well, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've learned a lot about myself for sure.
Yeah, and that's part of it, isn't it? It's, our favourite, well, we've got lots of favourite sayings, but one of our favourite sayings is that really weight management, weight loss, it's a personal development program. You need to understand yourself.
Yes, it's exactly that.
Great. And I love that. So you started to learn that actually, you've got the criteria, meet the criteria for ADHD, actually a lot of people in our world. And it sort of feeds into that thing that, we've got metabolic hormones that drive hunger, that stop satiety, and that's one aspect of it. And then we've also got neural programming. People with ADHD are more likely to seek dopamine-producing activities. So they're more likely, people think of it as an addictive personality, but in fact it's often ADHD, certainly more common in people with a history of trauma. But there's so much more than just, just follow this meal plan, you'll be right.
Yeah, it's not. And so it's been quite an eye opener, to have this development at this stage of my life. And actually, I don't. Looking back at my life, the ADHD, I've achieved a lot from it, but and I don't feel, yes, I made some mistakes, but that was all part of learning. And I feel now that it's kind of a relief. I don't have that guilt that I did make those mistakes because it really wasn't my fault. I didn't make these mistakes just, there was a reason that I was, my brain was.
Yeah. You're actually bringing up all of my favourite sayings because, again, even around weight management, we always say to people, being overweight's not your fault. Like people have so much self-loathing and self-flagellating over the fact that they've gained weight and they can't lose weight and they think they're just weak, and it's not your fault. But to quote a Mel Robbins thing, it is your responsibility because no one's going to come and save you. No one's going to do it for you, but people will help you.
Yeah, it's just that education. It's just starting, isn't it? It's getting that mindset, hitting the rock bottom, whatever it is of doing it. I remember starting the program and I thought, this was it just seemed too good to be true. Like I was eating all this food that I liked and I wasn't counting anything because I don't want to do that sort of thing. And I remember asking you one day and you said, just trust the process, just trust it. Because I said, you sure I can have butter and you sure I can eat cream? And, obviously not mountains of it. And then sure enough, what's that analogy you used? The tool shed opened up and the weight started coming off. And I thought, wow, and it just kept coming off and coming off and coming off.
I know. And it's so exciting, I guess, for you because I'm assuming in all of this you now feel better.
Oh, I actually feel as though it's taken 10 years off my life. It's not just about how I look. It's actually how I feel, the energy, the aches and the pains. And the one thing that I found really amazing was I don't have inflammation. I used to have sort of puffy fingers and my joints would be a bit at my ankles, but I don't have any of that now. My body is not inflamed. I don't have digestive issues. I had IBS. That's all under control. Digestive system's really lovely. I think, as I've mentioned this already, the bloating and that's all gone and it's just lovely.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. And is your cardiologist happy?
Yes, everyone's happy. All my, spirit doctors I see, they go, oh, great. Oh, and I think my goal, I remember doing that. I said, I'll do 12 weeks. If I lose 6 kilos, whatever I lose will be a bonus, not ever dreaming that I've lost 14. And then I stopped really worrying about weight. It was more about, my goal then was to get into the healthy BMI. So once I got into that, I said, all right, that's enough. I can just maintain from here on in. And I think you said to me, it actually doesn't hurt to have a little bit of weight on in middle age. And I kind of agree.
Oh, absolutely. We're not about being skinny or thin. It's about being healthy and strong. And you don't need to be a rake to be healthy, that's for sure.
And I look slim in my clothes, so it's fine.
Yeah, I love that. What I also love is that if we look at your insulin levels got better, and I remember your leptin because I know for a lot of people And lots of people don't get their leptin tested. I understand it's not covered by the Medicare system. It's not super expensive, but also a lot of doctors will think, well, we don't have a drug for that, so what's the point of checking it? But, your leptin was up in that 70s and now it's in the teens. It's remarkable in 3 months' time that your leptin results improved so quickly, which means for you that you get your satiety signaling back on board. So I love that. It makes everything so much easier when you're not having to battle dysregulated metabolic hormones.
Yeah, I think that just gives you this kind of confidence in yourself because that finding out that you're insulin resistant is quite confronting. I thought, wow, imagine if I had let this go, how that would have impacted. And that's, I guess, what my motivation is now going into this next stage of life is, I want good mobility. I want to be healthy. I don't want, so that was really confronting. I thought, wow, that could have been quite dangerous if I had let that go.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we want. We want all of our peeps to be, gallivanting around in their glory years. And, 70 is the new 45. It is when lots of women are just getting started with their life. They're on the floor playing with grandchildren. They're off having.
Yes, I've got grandchildren. Yes, I want that in there, yeah. And I've got it. I could hardly get. I could hardly even do up my shoelaces. So now I can get. I'm not sprightly, but I'm a lot better.
Oh, I think you're amazing. You're doing, and the thing is, you're doing the 6 S's that we talk about, the sustenance. You've got that nailed now. Your sleep is good.
My partner said to me, he said, the next thing you'll want to do, he said, you're on such a health trend now. He said, the next thing you'll want to do is go to an ashram in India, because I'm totally health conscious on everything, my labels and the, I don't want anything that's got perfumes in it. And, I'm reading, the oils and the seed oils and.
Oh, I know. And it's quite tricky. It can be a bit confronting because it feels like every single thing, there's microplastics and forever chemicals, and you kind of can feel, oh my God, I'm living in this, hostile environment. And to be honest, we kind of are, but I think what we do is it's easy to get overwhelmed by that. And I think, well, what we do is we control the things we can control, and it doesn't have to be perfect. But if we can make improvements, then that's got to be good.
Yeah, it's just being conscious of things like, that great thing you put up on the Facebook about the comparisons with, the oils and the...
Oh, yeah, the supermarket swaps. Yeah.
The mayonnaise. Yeah, well, that's an eye-opener, because I was just buying milk, almond milk, and not reading the labels.
No, and look, we will often make a decision based on price because, that's what we're conditioned to do. If we make it based on price, and again, I'm conscious of the fact that there are people with budgetary constraints and so they don't get the full options available to them. But if you've got the means to buy the best quality food you can afford, then I think that's a really good investment for your health.
And really, when you go shopping, if you're hardly down those middle aisles, you're just down by the fresh produce. I look at my trolley sometimes and I'm thinking, wow, look at all these vegetables. Look at all this healthy food I'm putting up here. It's really I'm quite proud of it, actually.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I think what I'm hearing from you, Maria, is that your identity, we talk a lot about identity as part of all of our programs, but you've really had an identity shift and you've become, a health conscious person. And so all of these actions that you're doing support that identity, which mean you are more likely to keep going rather than just looking at this as, this was just a short diet, a quick refix. I can't wait to finish this and go back to the way I was. None of that sort of thought process is going through your mind.
No. And it's all just little bit by little bit. It's stages. It's not, you're not doing one whole change. It's you change this a little bit here and then it just keeps on going. So, yeah, it's wonderful.
Absolutely. The power of small steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Maria, I am so excited for you. You look fabulous. You sound fabulous. You're, a bundle of energy and vitality. And it's you are exactly what we hope for people so that they can, optimize their health, live their glory years, gallivanting. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's been great. Really, really, I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Oh, wonderful. All right, my lovely friend. Well, thank you. And lovely peeps, thank you for listening. And I hope that Maria's story has been inspiring for you. And remember, it's not too late. You can start feeling better soon. Doesn't take forever. And the power of small steps, they are monumental. And so I will catch you all next week with another episode of the Real Health and Weight Loss Podcast. Bye for now. The information shared on the Real Health and Weight Loss Podcast, including show notes and links, provides general information only. It is not a substitute, nor is it intended to provide individualized medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor can it be construed as such. Please consult your doctor for any medical concerns.